Hey guys, so the film I'm going to talk about today is Barbie, the big hit of the summer, it turns out. The film stars, of course, Margot Robbie as Barbie. Freaking Ryan Gosling's in it, Simu Liu's in it, Will Ferrell's in it, Kate McKinnon, Michael Cera, bunch of other people. I'm not a Barbie guy, obviously. I think I bought, well, my grandmother bought a Barbie doll when I was a kid to bring to a kid's like birthday party, a friend of mine, and but yeah, so we bought a Barbie doll for her, but that's it. That was like a million years ago as well. So that's literally my only experience with Barbies. Okay, I was more into Batman action figures. Okay, the real manly stuff. No, I'm joking. Anyway, no, but I was. I'm joking, but I'm joking about the manly stuff part, not the. I did collect Batman action figures. Okay, I didn't know what this movie was gonna be. I like Greta Gerwig's films. I like Noah Baumbach, who wrote this movie. So I thought, this could either be like a disaster for them, like from an artistic standpoint, or it could be them taking it in a direction that is so unexpected that it will make the film actually really cool. And I think I got a bit of both of that. I was kind of looking forward to this movie. I haven't seen like a good, like legit comedy in a while. And you've got Will Ferrell in there. I like Michael Cera. I like Ryan Gosling sometimes. Margot Robbie's not really. She's not a comedian. I guess I thought she'd be the kind of straight character, like not really understanding jokes and stuff. But that's not really where this movie goes. This movie definitely tries something different, especially with kind of being a toy movie. And I think a lot of people are gonna dig it. A lot of people are not gonna dig it. But regardless, box office, people went to see this movie en masse, as they say. I definitely see why, and I can see someone enjoying this movie. There's stuff I enjoyed about the film. Personally, I didn't like it. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll get deeper into this throughout the review. Stuff I liked about it. I liked some of the characters. I like Will Ferrell's character. I kind of like Alan's character, but he's really pointless. Ken was pretty good, I'll say that. And Margot Robbie's a good actress, so she totally pulled it off. I like really the thing I like the most about this is the set. The Barbie Land set is awesome. Okay, like really one of the best like movie sets I've seen in a while. Because I could see, even though I'm not a Barbie guy, okay, I could see like a little girl seeing this movie and being like, "Oh my God, Barbie Land! It looks exactly how I pictured it." And also, it kind of at the very beginning you see Barbie. They're all Barbies pretty much, and they're all Kens except for Alan living there. And you see the day-to-day stuff that they do, like they pretend to drink, their little tea from a little teacup. They pretend to take a shower. They pretend to brush their teeth. They pretend to drive. They're not really driving, but it kind of drives them anyway, which is all really, really cool. I really like this part of the movie. It's what kids do when they play with dolls, right? Or even action figures. Like they pretend to do stuff, but especially like dolls, right? But the movie actually opens with the 2001 Space Odyssey spoof with the dolls and everything like getting destroyed when the big Barbie doll appears. I don't think this should have been in the movie. I think this should have just been the trailer. I think the trailer should have legitimately just been that. It wasn't very funny. When you actually watch the movie, you're kind of like, okay. So the story is Barbie's just kind of hanging out. She's got a great life. She does the same thing every day though, which is kind of monotonous, but she doesn't seem to really like have a big problem with it. She wakes up in the morning, pretends to do a bunch of stuff, gets in the car, pretends to drive to the beach where Ken is being an idiot, and everybody loves her. And then at night they party down and dance and stuff. Except one day she just like starts thinking about death, and it kind of snowballs into her, waking up, and then she's got bad breath, cellulite. She's got flat feet. Well, flat feet. Like, she, instead of standing like this, she stands like this, which is like actually normal. She is sent to speak to Weird Barbie, who is played by Kate McKinnon. And Weird Barbie is apparently, I think it was a thing where girls would like, people with Barbies, okay, would like take Barbie dolls and freaking fuck them up. Okay, just like mess with their hair, draw stuff on them. It's like Sid from freaking Toy Story. Was it Sid the name? I don't remember. Anyway, it was basically that. Anyway, it became Weird Barbie. Okay, and Weird Barbie tells this really implausible story to Barbie about, like, there's the real world where all the real shit happens, and there's Barbie Land. And you can't get to that world. You're gonna have to go, okay, to fix this problem that you have, because there's someone playing with a Barbie doll who's thinking about death, who's having issues, and you're just gonna have to help him sort it out, okay? Otherwise, your life is just gonna be miserable. You're gonna have cellulite. It's gonna be bad, okay? So Barbie's like, all right, I'm going. Okay, I'm going. I don't want cellulite. God forbid Margot Robbie would get cellulite. So she goes to her car, and then she kind of drives off Barbie Land. But Ken has kind of, selected himself to kind of go along with her. She's not really into Ken this whole time, but she's nice to him, but she's just kind of like not interested, right? So Ken goes along with her, and then they end up in Venice Beach in LA. And the real world is not quite what she had in mind. Dudes are rude. People kind of make fun of them. They're just not getting a good vibe from people in general. Okay. Meanwhile, you've got Will Ferrell, who's like the CEO of Mattel. Okay. This film gets very meta right away. Okay. You've got the Warner Brothers logo at the back of his office, which is quite funny. And Will Ferrell's just like, we gotta find Barbie. He's gotta scream because he's Will Ferrell. So he learns about this Barbie thing, that she's left Barbie Land, and he tells everyone, we gotta find this Barbie, right? Put her back in the box, and yada yada yada. Ken becomes enamored with the power that men have in that world. And he's like, I'm going to go back to Barbie Land and change a few things, okay? And there is that lady who was playing with Barbie. And spoilers, okay, from now on. Okay, this is kind of the first, act of the film. If you don't want to know what happens, you can go see it if you want. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Okay, but I'm going to spoil the movie. So, turns out, Barbie assumed it was this little girl playing with Barbies that had some problems. Emotional problems. It wasn't. It was actually the mother of that kid who was remembering kind of playing with her kid with Barbies, because the kid is kind of a tween. They keep saying, what is a tween? It's like, isn't it just a teenager? What's the difference between a tween and a teenager? Is a tween? I don't know what the ages are. Okay. Anyway, she's a tween. But she's growing up, and the mother feels a little bit left out and feels, emotional about that. And she has other issues as well. Anyway, so it turns out she's the one that Barbie's going to have to talk to try and fix this stuff. Ken's gone back. So Barbie's like, all right, I'm going to take that nice lady and her kid. We're going to go back to Barbie Land, and we're going to fix it, okay? They go back to Barbie Land, and it's become Ken something, Ken World or something. He's renamed Barbie Land. He's like the leader. The ladies there, all the Barbies, have become kind of maids for the Kens. The Kens have taken over, basically. And Barbie's like, what the hell? This is not helpful at all. So she kind of allies with the other Barbies to take power back from the Kens by confusing them. Luckily, they're not the smartest. Okay, the Kens are kind of very surface level, like not the not the cleverest bunch. They somehow took over power because one Barbie left, but not that difficult to take back power from them. Just confuse them, just make them jealous of each other, and Bob's your uncle, basically. But really, the film's not really about this kind of struggle here. It's about, there's been a lot of talk about feminism in this movie. Yeah, this movie is about kind of the roles that men and women play in society, the changes over time. that have happened and the work that needs to be done, that has been done, that is being done. There's that aspect of it, the kind of more political aspect of it, but there's also the more kind of fantasy story aspect of it, where is it really about Margot Robbie's Barbie, or is it really actually about that lady who was playing with Barbie, who kind of projected her emotions and herself into this Barbie character? And, it's, fairy tale logic kind of thing. It translates itself through stuff that's happening in Barbie Land and the real world, which is also part of this fantasy. So this is a very cartoony movie, but it's got like serious aspects to it. It's got also kind of more fantastical aspects to it as well. Another thing I really liked about the movie is the kind of transitions from Barbie Land to the real world, where they go. There's like a succession of things that you have to do. Like you have to get in a car, you have to get in a plane, a rocket ship, a boat, and that part of it, that little transition is kind of done in a little animation, right? With like, I don't even know if it's really an animation. It's just like this cute little sets like moving around. Yeah, I really like that. Like personally, I would have liked the whole movie to be like that, like kind of a Wes Anderson does Barbie kind of deal. But it's fine. I mean, okay, yeah, I realize it wouldn't have been the easiest sell to do a whole movie like that, but that's personally what I probably would have done. This movie's cute. This movie is, clever, but maybe too clever for its own good. I think this movie definitely wanted to do something beyond just, telling a story of a Barbie. And I respect that. There is something to be said about, keeping things simple, though. I feel like this movie is like, it's needlessly convoluted and needlessly preachy. This movie felt like it was just like, it was dying to be talked about in classrooms, like not even high school, just like university classrooms. That's the real goal of this movie. It's like, talk about us. And it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, it's, they bring up some interesting points. I like how the world of Barbie Land is actually more complex than it looks, which kind of mirrors, women's initial perception of how the world was back in freaking, if you want to go back to the 50s or something, and how, the change in mentality kind of changed the world, right? So I like that idea. That idea is really interesting to me. And the parallels between the real world, the actual real world, not the goofy real world of this movie, and the power struggles there, which are quite funny anyway. Like the idea of a power struggle in Barbie Land is just amusing. Like these dolls fighting with each other. It's like, who cares? You guys are not even like, you guys are not even real. So I mean that I like that this film is clever. I just think it's it didn't really strike a good balance. I think you can totally do this. I think there's a great Barbie movie in this somewhere. It just needed to be much funnier. This movie is the tone is off as well. I didn't think this movie was funny. That's my big problem with it, and it's a huge problem with the comedy, honestly. There's a couple of, funny ideas, but the execution of it is silly. Like, it's mostly just silly. And that's the difference between something being silly and being actually funny. Like, I think, props to Ryan Gosling. He tries very, very hard to carry this movie in terms of the comedy of it. And he does a good job. Like, he is a talented guy. He's not a comedian, but he can be funny, and he can be funny. Did you see what I just did there? Totally meant to do that, and I'll do it again. He can be funny, and he is funny in this movie. He tries very hard. I like some of the ideas where he's obsessed. Like, he gets the wrong end of the stick when it comes to like patriarchy. Like, he really thought it was all about men, riding horses, and that's the power there. But really, he's actually, when it boils down to it, he's really just he really just likes horses. I like that idea. That made me laugh at the end. And there wasn't many laughs, so I remember them very clearly when they happened. What else? Yeah, there's like dumb stuff where he's got like he names his house like Ken Mojo Dojo Casa House or something, and they make a big deal of this. Like they really want people to remember this. It's funny. Okay, fine, I get it. But then there's all these like musical numbers. There's all these like I thought that was too much. Like the musical numbers, they weren't that funny. The movie's kind of long enough already. It's like 2 hours long. Didn't make me laugh. Didn't really add anything, you know. It kind of made sense at the beginning because they're partying down because they got nothing else to do because it's Barbie Land. But then after that, when Ken has his own kind of like little tune that goes on forever and ever. Also, they follow like a musical number, like a dance musical number with a musical number. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't just like do it twice in a row. That's just awful. Like I was tired by that second one. So there's all this stuff happening. I think other actors are not that funny. Like Simu Liu, I don't know. He's just kind of a dude. Like he's not particularly funny. Shuti Gatwa's in there as well. Who else is in there? Anyway, all the other actors are not particularly funny, and actresses as well. Kate McKinnon still, very unsuccessful at making me laugh. Kate McKinnon, I don't get it, guys. I don't know why you guys made her popular. I'm not getting it. She like does this weird smiley thing that she does in everything, kind of like Margot Robbie does, where she's just like smiling like this, and I guess that's meant to be funny. I don't know. Didn't Vanessa Bayer or whatever her name was do that for years, and that wasn't funny either? No, I don't get it, guys. Like Kate McKinnon's just like awful in this movie. Michael Cera's awesome. I love Michael Cera. He's funny as hell. Not so much in this movie and it's not his fault because he tries, as well, and just the look of him is funny. But like he doesn't like do anything. Like his character doesn't actually do anything. He just looks different than the other Kens, and that's useful for the kind of parallel they're trying to make. I get it. You got Rhea Perlman in there, and it's awesome to see her in a movie. I'm like, guys, why didn't you cast Rhea Perlman in anything? She's great. Not particularly funny either, but she's not really like a funny character in this. She's kind of playing the creator of Barbie, right? And you don't really know throughout the movie if she's meant to be like this apparition, like some kind of ghost or spirit, or if she's meant to be like really there. Will Ferrell does mention that it's a ghost of her, but is he joking? Is he not? I don't know. Will Ferrell as well tries very hard to make something funny happen, and he does succeed here and there, but the writing of his character is not very good. Like he's not that funny. Like by Will Ferrell standards, we know how funny Will Ferrell can be, right? Yeah, in this movie, yeah, I don't know. I honestly would have made Michael Cera Ken. I feel like that would have even been funnier. But like, okay, I know Michael Cera is an acquired taste, and I know that Ryan Gosling, fits the look of Ken a little bit better than Michael Cera. But this movie is like kind of, I guess, risky from a studio standpoint or from Mattel's standpoint with the storytelling. Right? It's taking some leaps, but it's not being particularly risky in terms of the comedy itself, which made it a little bit boring to me. Yeah, and also like the real kind of life characters, like that woman who projects herself onto Barbie, kind of, and her daughter. I didn't like these characters at all. Didn't think that they weren't funny for one. Not particularly likable. I didn't like them at all. So, and they're like the key of the movie. You kind of need to like these people or care about these people for this movie to work. Didn't care about them at all. Look, yeah, I was kind of bored watching this movie. I did roll my eyes a lot. I cringed quite a bit. I think, this movie is just really preachy. And it's kind of like, it feels disingenuous, this movie, which is one of the problems I have with it. One of the big problems I have with it, which is like, oh yeah, on the surface, it's silly and it's trying to be funny, even though it's kind of failing at that quite hard. It just about manages to reach cute, the level of cute. There's funny ideas in there. They're just not, delivered particularly well. This whole movie is like a joke that is a kind of a funny joke delivered poorly, in my opinion. And then they throw in all this like political shit at you. All this like the third act of the movie is just like characters preaching at you. And it's just like making these big boring monologues. I was so out. That third act is so bad, guys. Yeah, the third act of this movie sucks, guys. It's really bad. The first act, I can get into that. Okay, I can get into the first act of this movie. The second act is kind of a hit and miss, right? Third act kind of lost me. I was just like, whew. By the time Rhea Perlman comes back and then she has this heart-to-heart with Barbie, I was just like, I don't care. I just don't care. I'm sorry. And Margot Robbie, she's good, I guess. She's a good actress. And she does her best with Barbie. But I feel like that character was not particularly likable or funny. Just like, that lady character who's not a Barbie. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend seeing this movie, guys, in theaters, at least. Yeah, definitely watch it when it pops up on Netflix or something. But, there's nice visuals and stuff. Some of the cast is good. There's a couple, like I said, there's a couple of funny ideas in there. The Casa House thing is pretty funny, like the horses thing. There's no dudes in this movie that are actually, like, smart, which is kind of annoying as well. Like, let's be real. Like, okay, I get it. This is from a feminist standpoint. Okay, fine, cool. I'm just not generally a fan of that style of storytelling, where it's just like it's all from the point of view of this person or of a certain demographic. It's all from the point of view of this demographic. So fuck everyone else. I'm like, I guess. There's kind of a punk rock aspect to that. But also, it's just like, it's kind of mean-spirited, Yeah, you can tell this story. The way they've done it is just not the best way to tell that story or to do what they were trying to do. I get what they're trying to do. Like I said, funny ideas, interesting kind of political parallels. It just needed to be a little bit more subtle with the political stuff. Just a little bit, especially in the third act, where they're just talking at you. And they're like, it's just like annoying. I could see someone looking at the posters and everything and being like, this looks annoying. But the film actually is quite annoying by the end. Yeah, I don't know. There's some stuff they did okay. I just feel like it's so overrated, this movie. Oh my god. Yeah, this movie's kind of a rental to me. I would like to see a director's cut of this film where the third act is trimmed down hard. It didn't make me laugh. This movie didn't make me laugh. Even the parts that I was telling you that are quite, the funny ideas or like Ryan Gosling is funny, right? Not laugh out loud funny. When I said I laughed in the theater, I mean like, huh. I mean that. That's the most I got of this movie. When the Casa House thing, I was like, huh. That was the peak of laughter that I got out of this movie. I just thought it was, for the most part, criminally unfunny. And it could have been weirder. This movie needed to be weirder. This movie needed to embrace kind of a weird Barbie attitude. Okay, even weird Barbie could have been weirder, honestly. Like, oh, she stretches, I guess. Oh, she's got, kind of punky hair. Fine. So, like, this movie is kind of punk rock here and there. But at other parts, it's, like, weirdly just, like, dull and so cliched and just, like, yeah, very, very boring. Not a fan of this movie. I would say if I think this movie is overrated. And Oppenheimer was overrated. So they kind of go well together. But if only there was a way to call these two movies together. Open, not Open Barbie. Open B? No, I don't know. There's got to be a way. I've got a wasp in this room. I'm going to try and get it out into the garden. I'm scared. So I'm going to say goodbye, folks. It's a movie.